Are you looking to become a life coach, or maybe you already are one or have started to become one, but you're curious, am I able to become a successful life coach without any experience or without being certified? The answer is yes, and we're going to go exactly how in this video, so stay tuned.
We all win when we all win. We all win when we all win.
Hello, my friend. I'm Super Sid, the marketing shaman, and I help life coaches and healers make their first or next 100K with profitable presentations. And today we're going to discuss how do you become a life coach and how do you specifically become a life coach without having any experience or possibly without having a certification, mainly probably from scratch. Don't worry, we're gonna go over specifically my 3 best ways that anybody can become a life coach by just simply following these 3 simple questions and these 3 simple things that you need to follow to be able to help anybody as a life coach that you are striving to be. Let's rock and roll. All right, so to become a successful life coach, right? Or, whatever it might be. I mean, you could really just become a successful coach or a successful business owner. The first thing that we really need to do is we need to identify the niche that we're wanting to serve. So what is a niche? A niche is going to be basically a very, very narrow type of problem that you can serve in the marketplace. If you serve everybody, no one's going to see you. And no one really pays for generalists. They pay for specialists. So what we want to do is we really want to identify a very specific problem in the marketplace that we want to serve. Now I have other videos on my channel where you can specifically learn step by step how to find your niche as a life coach or a healer on my channel. So you can definitely go check those out. But kind of like a brief overview, we want to make sure that we find our niche in the 3 big core markets. Those 3 big core markets are what we call health, wealth, and relationships. And then from there, we want to identify a sub-market in those 3 major markets. Once we identify that sub-market, it literally just becomes what's the problem inside that sub-market that we want to solve, or the multitude of problems in that sub-market that we want to solve. That then becomes our niche, and we then start taking the next step in this process. Before I go into this next part of this video, which is really about how you can take this niche and this problem that you're going to serve and start getting really, really loud about it and start getting eyeballs out, online or offline, even seeing you and seeing who it is that you are and who it is that you help, I want to remind you to subscribe to this channel. I'm putting out new and exciting videos and content every single day showing life coaches and healers how they can make their first or next 100K as a life coach or healer. Make sure to click that button below and subscribe. All right, so you've gotten your niche. We've been able to identify, right, your winning niche. We've been able to identify the niche that you're going to be able to build a foundation around of the problem and the people that you're going to help. The next thing that we want to do is we want to create a message, or really a series of messages that's going to help us go into the marketplace and talk about, right, the solution that we can provide to the problem that we identified there in the first step. So what we want to be able to do is we want to go and create messages. So the 3 messages that we want to create, and we have other videos on our channel talking about this, but the 3 main messages that we want to create are going to be what we classify as your core message, right? Is going to be your core headline, as well as going to be your core domain. So what we want to do is these are called hook messages. So you got, your hook message, your hook title or your hook headline, and then your hook domain. So your hook message is what you typically, 1 or 2 sentence, tagline that you are actually able to go out there and tell to people out online and offline, and they're going to know who it is that you are and who it is that you can help, as well as where it is that you can go. The reason that these are so important, especially your hook message, is because people's attention spans today are extremely low. In fact, they're lower than a goldfish. Yeah, I know, lower than a goldfish. But the truth is, so that we got to be able to go out there and get our point across of who it is that we are, what it is that we do, and how it is that we can help them with guiding them to where they can start getting that help within that short time frame. So we want to be able to create these messages, starting primarily with that hook message and then going into our hook titles and our hook headlines that we're going to use on our sales funnels and our websites, as well as then going into hook domains that we use for those websites and those sales funnels, so that the entire offer can all be wrapped together within one major message, and everything ties together and helps people click on, right, that message, click on that website, click on that offer, and purchase more. Before I go over this next piece where you can really create that solution, create that thing that you're going to sell to people so that you can consistently help them make money, right, as well as helping a lot of people and creating a lot of impact as a life coach, I want to ask you, what is the problem that you solve as a life coach? There's lots of problems and lots of niches that life coaches really have the opportunity to solve. I'm curious, which one do you solve and how do you help make the world a better place? Put those comments down there. All right, so we know the problem, we know the niche, and now we kind of have an idea, at least, of the message that we're going to create so that we can start shouting this. Now what we have to do is you have to create a solution, right? There's a problem, right? Now we got to create a solution. And I think a lot of what people look at, especially in the life coaching world, is they look at a solution and it's a very vertical thing. They'll look at it and say, I have one solution that's going to solve a problem, right? And the truth of the matter is that when people buy life coaching packages or when people buy anything, right, their mind is going to buy things a certain way. Their mind is going to look at things and look at the reasons why they shouldn't or should buy things, and we want to make sure that we position our offers, create our offers that is going to be able to be seen by the mind as something that they want, something that's going to be able to get them over the problem, and something that they need to take action on fast. So the way that we want to create these offers is really doing it in kind of 4 different ways. I have other videos on my channel that talk specifically how to break this down even more, but really just wanting to make sure that we look at it, right? When you look at something and you buy something, right? I mean, is it just a simple yes or no? Right? It really truly isn't. And whether it's subconscious or it's conscious mind thinking or doing these things, it's very important to understand how the mind works when buying something, right? When someone buys something is usually, they buy first with emotion, and then that emotion is then backed up by logic. Usually they convert through fear, right? So how do we make sure to basically talk to the brain, talk to the mind like that, while also getting people, right, to see our offer as the only offer out there right now that they need to get so that they can solve their problem? We call that an irresistible offer. How do we go out there and do that? Well, we want to make sure that in the beginning part of our offer, we let people know what it is that we're selling. So a lot of times in this section, we want to let people first know what it is that they're selling, usually something that they're not going to know exactly what it is. So if I tell you all what the 100K Life Coach Launch Guide is, which you all can get your free copy down here below, you might have an idea of what it is, but you might not know that it's a 22-page guide that helps life coaches and healers make their first or next 100K, and it's our system that we basically show people in that guide so they can start, getting on that journey. You might not know, so we want to make sure that in that offer, right, that we let people know what it is, usually something they're not going to know, and then of course behind that we want to let them know what they understand that it is and what exactly they are going to be getting. All right, so now that you've kind of stated what it is, we got to look at now how it's going to be delivered. We call this kind of the vehicle part of the offer, but how is the main thing that you are going to be selling them, whether it's going to be coaching, whether it's going to be one-on-one time, whether it's going to be a group, whether it's going to be an ebook, right? How is that going to be delivered and how are they going to be getting it, right? So like again, if you go back to my 100K Life Coach Launch Guide example, you might look at it's going to be delivered. They're going to get it by being able to read it. They're going to get a 22-page guide that's going to be emailed to them right after they click this button, and this 22-page guide is then going to basically give them the exact plan that they need to make their first or next 6 figures as a life coach or healer. So basically, like, that is the delivery mechanism. Now, others examples is if you have a package or you have an offer, you might want to go out there and you might want to be like, hey, well, I'm going to deliver this as a group coaching package. I'm going to deliver this as one-on-one calls. I'm going to deliver this as an event. I'm going to deliver this as whatever it might be. But we want to make sure that they understand not only how is it going to be delivered, but when and how are they going to retrieve it. All right, so now that we've talked about specifically, right, what it is that you're basically giving them or selling them or whatever, that's the proactive side. That's the side you're on. Let's talk about the reactive side, right? What they're thinking when they see that for the first time, right? Well, usually when you see something for the first time, you want to know how is it going to be delivered. That's what we just talked about. So the next question that you normally are going to get or normally going to have in your brain is going to be like, well, is this going to work for me? Could I actually do this and get the result that they're saying I could get? We call that an internal objection. And the way that we want to, basically answer these internal objections is we want to go out there and we want to tell stories about other clients or around other people who have gotten help with this problem. And we want to walk them through exactly how they got help with that problem around and parallel to the exact same situation or problem that the current, prospect has. This is going to be able in their brain to see exactly step by step how this other person was able to get to the promised land, get to their goal, even with them being in the same situation that they are. A lot of times this right here, testimonials and case studies, is what's going to walk people right past answering the question, right? The internal question of can they do this themselves? Because by seeing testimonials and seeing other people do it, that's going to show them that they can. The next question that they're going to have, which a lot of people are going to jump to, is do I have the resources to get this done? And this is the external objection. Do I have everything that I need, right? Do I have the mindset? Do I have the actual tangible items? Do I have the things that I saw that they need? And they're going to start asking that question of, Do I have everything that I need? So we want to make sure that in our offers, we're answering these two questions, right? The internal, the external, we're giving them the reasons that they do not have a single objection left. And then a lot of times you're still going to have a couple of people that are staggered. So we always like at the end of that offer to add in a reason to act now. So the reason we want to give this reason to act now is because usually within this reason to act now, it's not going to be something that's typically offered with this offer. So for them to get this right now and probably get it at a pretty hefty discount or as a bonus for free when typically it's going to cost just as much as the offer is currently that you're offering, or it's going to offer even more. This is a very, very great reason to act now that you can add. Great reasons to act now that you can add are great things like info products, recent interviews, master classes, workshops that you've done in the past where people can get this information, get, wins without taking any time away from you. But by adding these reasons to act now, you're going to be able to get people to make decisions quickly and ultimately get people to pay you a lot faster to get your help as a life coach. So are you wanting to become a life coach and make massive impact and probably make your first or next 6 figures as a life coach? And I have a brand new 100K life coach launch guide that I like to give you for free. And we talked about it a little bit earlier in this video, but what it is a 22-page guide that's going to show life coaches and healers exactly the the simple 3-step process that we follow, right, to help life coaches and healers make their first or next 100K within the next year. Now you can grab this, your free gift of this 100K life coach launch guide down here below, right? And don't forget, we all win when we all win. I choose to win today and I hope you choose to win by clicking on this link down here below and grabbing your free copy of the 100K life coach launch guide today. We'll see you in the next video.